Two translators are on a sinking ship. The first says, "Do you know how to swim?" The second says, "No, but I can shout for help in 19 languages."
That is the worst joke I ever heard.
I will burn their cities to the ground if they touch her.
Softer. What? Not so loud.
Burn them all!
Where's my sister?
Burn them all!
What's going on, guys? Glad you made it to my Mad Queen video. It's also my first video before the season finally ends, so I appreciate you guys for watching. So I just want to talk about one of the most interesting characters on TV, and honestly, everybody's favorite bitch on TV, Cersei Lannister. Alright, so I'm gonna try my best to prove that not only is Cersei gonna fulfill her prophecy, but she's also gonna become the Mad Queen. So I pulled an all-nighter making this video to get it up before the finale starts, so hope you guys enjoy. Alright, let's get started. First off, we see the encounter between Cersei and Maggy the Frog. So we're told the story from Cersei's perspective. Now the way she tells the story is that her and her friends go off to the woods and they find a tent, which in it they find Maggy sleeping. Cersei basically just wakes her up and demands that she tells them their fortune, which doesn't really turn out to be a fortune after all. So little Cersei refuses to leave until the witch gives her 3 questions to ask about her future. Keep in mind that Cersei's still a pretty young child at this time, so her questions are pretty noob. So the first question she asked, "When will I wed the prince?" "Never. You will wed the king," she says. So her second question goes, like an amateur, "I will be queen though?" "Aye, queen you shall be, until there comes another younger and more beautiful to cast you down and take all that you hold dear." And then she goes on to ask, "Will the king and I have children?" "Aye," she says, 6 and 10 for him and 3 for you. Once they're all dead, gold shall be their crowns and gold their shrouds. And when your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life out of you. God damn. That's brutal. Alright, so we know the first one comes true, and it's pretty tragic, but Shakespearean, I guess, how it plays out. Because ever since Cersei was a kid, she wanted to marry Rhaegar Targaryen, the dragon prince, not some fucking Baratheon. And when Robert took that away from her by killing him at the Trident, she just ended up marrying the murderer of her lover. She also mentions that she never forgave Robert for killing Rhaegar. So that became true, and the second thing ended up becoming true too. But the second one is impossible to avoid because there's always going to be a younger and more beautiful queen to succeed her. So that's out the door. And then the third thing Maggy foretells is the Valonqar is going to choke the life out of her. Now Valonqar is High Valyrian for little brother, and she automatically assumes it's Tyrion that is the one that kills her ultimately. Now Melara jumps in and asks the witch, "Will I marry Jaime?" Now we know that doesn't happen, so Maggy goes, "Not Jaime, nor any man. Worms will have your maiden head. Your death is here tonight, little one. Can you smell her breath? she is very close. Now here's where George R.R. Martin does, well, George R.R. Martin things, and pretty much just says that Malera's dead and she drowned in a well. And it's pretty much just implied that Cersei pushed her in there because ain't no one getting that Jaime dick besides her. So now we know all the prophecies about Cersei came true. And one of the more important things about it is that they all fulfilled themselves in a unexpected way. We'll call it the J.R.R. Martin way. Yeah, that's original. And that leaves us with the Valonqar. Which little brother is gonna kill Cersei? Now Cersei always believed that it's gonna be Tyrion, and that she becomes super paranoid, close to like the Mad King. And it's not just for any reason either. Like, Cersei absolutely despises Tyrion. She blames Tyrion for the death of their mother and the death of her two children, Joffrey and Myrcella. And now that her father, Tywin, the most feared man in Westeros, is dead, she has no one to protect her now. So now her house is in major debt and her family's more than half dead, and now she's gonna start believing their prophecy. She's even stated to Tyrion that without her children, she has nothing to live for. Here, let me pull that shit up.
You have children. How happy would you say you are?
Not very. But if it weren't for my children, I'd have thrown myself from the highest window in the Red Keep. They're the reason I'm alive.
Even Joffrey.
Even Joffrey.
Now, if we take what we have learned from George and his ways, we can probably safely assume that it's going to be probably Jaime that kills her ultimately, probably due because of her actions. So now we got the prophecy out of the way, let's skip to the future. Now let's see how Cersei's grown up. But before we do that, Jaime, can you remind me what the Mad King says all the time?
He said the same thing you've been saying for hours. Burn them all. If that's all, Your Grace.
Thanks, buddy. Now what does their sister say all the time now?
I will burn our house to the ground before I let that happen. I will burn their cities to the ground if they touch her.
Softer. What? Not so loud.
I would burn cities to the ground. You are all that matters.
Cersei. There's a fierceness you don't often see. They'd do anything to protect their babies.
I will burn our house to the ground before I let that happen. Our house to the ground before I let that happen. I will burn their cities to the ground if they touch her.
Softer.
What? There's a... I love Cersei. You can laugh at that if you want. I love Cersei. I love Cersei.
Thanks if you made it to the end. It took so freaking long to edit this video because it's my first one, but it was worth it if you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want more, let me know by commenting, liking, subscribing. That's super important, please. And I promise you guys future videos will be a lot better. I'm just getting used to how to do this right now. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. Subscribe. Peace.